What up? What up?
And we're back.
What's going on?
The voice of over it.
Welcome to another episode of As Told by Millennials.
How's everybody?
Like you said, over it. It took us a lot to get to this point.
And did.
But we made it.
Yeah, we did.
Um,
Well, while we're at this point, I guess we can go ahead and remind our listeners, to where they can go and follow us on social media. You can go to our Instagram as told by millennials, and we will have a link tree in the bio that will s- connect you with our personal pages as well as our other sources of social media platforms. Follow, share, subscribe. Thank you.
so,
So, Milton.
hmm
Milton, I would, based off the look on your face, tell everybody how you feel.
I'm very fucking
Or
over it.
don't.
I am very fucking over it. We have gone through so much in the time that we have been trying to record this one fucking episode. It is ridiculous. It is ridiculous.
Ooh,
I am just, I'm very over it. It shouldn't be this fucking hard. But,
I'm be
you
congested fucking
know,
with y'all.
yeah, we're here and we are glad to be here aside from all of the other trials that we had to go through just to get here. It is good to see you guys. I got to see Denzel this past weekend. It was really good to see you.
Yeah, it was.
So I know for me, being able to see my friends and being in the presence of my friends brings me so much joy and healing. So that's
Mhm.
how I found joy this week. How did you guys find some joy in this week? David.
um, this week was, I mean, it was a pretty cool week. It went by extremely slow. But I feel like just having conversation with you guys throughout the week was the way that I found joy. That was the way that I kind of, just escaped the little things, and I found a lot of joy in having relationships and having friendships that are everlasting.
Hmm. Well, for me, this week I would say was a pretty productive week for me. Stemming off our conversation from the last episode, we got the ball running on certain things, but other
Mm-hmm.
than that,
Mm-hmm.
I got to see my family. I just got home probably like 2 hours ago. Went home, seen my mother for Mother's Day, and saw Milton. And it's just a blessing to have your family and friends with you. So that's for me this week.
That's good. I'm glad to hear it. I know this is a question I kind of want to start incorporating because we're all um, music lovers. So give me one song that's kind of been on repeat in your playlist from this past week.
Ooh, for me it is Alex Vaughn, and it is a song called "So Be It." It's a remix with Summer Walker on it. Love it, love it.
Okay, Alex Vaughn.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna have to check that out. David, what about you?
For me, the top song on my playlist right now is a song called Senses. It is by Alec Paco Walls. I guess in the secular realm, he goes by Alec or ALIC spelled out. And that's one of the top songs
Paco.
right now. If you don't listen to his music, it's really really good, chill,
Ain't that
laid
one
back
of them?
music.
Ain't that one of them wild kids?
Yeah. Hmm.
That's who it
Mm-hmm.
is.
Yeah. I think
Paco.
he
What was
Yeah.
his name again? Alec
Alec
what?
Alec Walls. You have to spell it ALIC.
And what's the name of it called?
It's called
Senseless.
Senses.
Oh, that's why I'm putting senseless in there.
I like the music he puts out, especially his mellow lo-fi type of stuff. I really like some of his stuff, Paco. I like Paco. Shout out to Paco.
Yeah,
For me, I've been listening to uh, this song by Cleo Soul called "Don't Let Me Fall." Um, I really like it. It's my kind of music. I really like Cleo Soul anyway, but this one particular song has been just kind of on repeat in my playlist. So,
yeah,
um,
Mm.
yeah, I'm glad to hear that you guys made it through another week as always, so we can be here to enjoy each other's presence and record this wonderful show. So now I guess we can move into our happy hour where we talk about all the crazy stuff going on in this world. So, what's been buzzing in you guys' ears
crazy world.
this week?
Well, for me, I just got one question. Is there any musical great person that Chris Brown won't put his hands on? Like, do he have any respect for anybody that came before him? Because I'm feeling like now Anita Baker's at she's a threat now. So like, what the hell is going on? But people that don't know what's going on, there was a concert called like what was it, Lovers and Friends concert. Sounds
Hmm.
ghetto,
Okay,
but
sure.
Usher was performing and Chris Brown was performing. Actually, I don't think it happened there. I think it happened at Chris Brown's birthday party
It
and Usher
happened the
was
night
attending.
before. Hmm.
Yeah. Something went on. I seen video of Chris Brown cursing what is her name? The Taylor girl.
Tiana Taylor.
Tiana Taylor. I guess they got into it. I guess Usher was trying to like diffuse the situation from allegedly. And I reports are saying that Chris Brown and his posse jumped on Usher. So neither has confirmed nor denied it. I know Usher came back and he made a video the next day, just I guess just to show that I guess his face wasn't messed up or something like that. But they end up performing on the same stage, not together, but they performed at the same location the next day. And then there was another incident with Chris Brown getting into it with someone backstage. Something was going on where he said that the security was trying to remove somebody, but it got out of hand and he got involved in it because he said that his child was back there. Why his child was there, have no clue. But yeah, 2 nights in a row he had an altercation with somebody. So what are y'all thoughts on it?
Well, what I took from it,
I don't have
of course,
any.
like you said, like you said, the storyline does have some history. So, background, it looks like it goes back to Tiana Taylor backing out of Chris Brown's tribute to Michael Jackson. Chris Brown has been upset about it for some time. Tiana Taylor showed up at his birthday party. He had words. Usher stepped in to kind of make Chris Brown put a little bit more respect on her name. They got mad at Usher. Usher was the one that got jumped, and that's kind of where the mess came from. Rich people shit, that's the kind of stuff they can do out at parties. And I also feel like that under the influence of cocaine, that anybody can get hands put on.
It's kind of
Yeah.
crazy when you watch childhood stars grow up quickly.
It's crazy when they don't actually grow up and they still be out here wilding like they 15 years old. That's crazy.
Yeah. Or
Yeah.
on drugs, or never really just settle down.
I mean, I got a question. This is really just, and it's just popped in my head. How easy is it to get cocaine?
It's easier to get cocaine than it is to get gasoline. Shit.
Yeah,
Because, I mean,
very true.
everybody just be on it. And I'm not even talking about the stars. I'm just talking about people that we work with, people that we know.
Hmm.
Like, how easy is it to get cocaine? I don't even know well, I wouldn't know where to start to like track
Yeah,
down
I would
cocaine.
say
I don't even know the verbiage to use. Like, how do you order? How do you place an order for cocaine?
I'm not gonna say too much and make the people feel like I know I know a whole lot about it, but I will say it's easier to get than what you think.
It
Of
has to be
course.
because everybody's on it.
Hmm.
Well, not everybody, but
I mean, well, not
majority.
everybody, but I just, I've been around some people and I've seen people that I know and have known for quite some time. And, just, and you see them, kind of slither off into a corner and take a little bump and come back all energized and everything. I'm like,
Hmm.
damn, like,
Hmm.
y'all just be walking around this with this, like, I mean, it's crazy to me. Like, and I'm just thinking it must be very, very accessible to get cocaine.
At my job, like all of the guys are on it. Like, so I work in a manufacturing facility. So we have like the tuggers that deliver parts to lines and stuff like that. And those positions come up. Nobody wants those positions because if you have a wreck, they're gonna test you and you're gonna get fired. And they stay away from that. And then like one night, this guy came back in for lunch, nose red as doggone Rudolph. I'm like, I just looked at him, I'm like, that stuff burning that nose up, ain't it? I'm just, but that's why I just have to watch myself because you never know what can happen. They come in on that stuff, but you'd be surprised. Like a lot of CEOs, people, like a lot of important people that are in charge of a lot of things. That's how they function. Like that's the only way they can stay up and get what they need to be, need done. But I
Mhm.
ain't never been that type of person. I guess, like I said, if God don't do it, it just won't get done. So, in other news, what shows are you guys watching currently?
I'm gonna start watching Beef on Netflix. I hear it's pretty funny. I watched like maybe one or two episodes of it, and it was pretty interesting. And I really do like um, Ali Wong. I think she's very funny. So that's what I've been watching, and yeah, that's about it for me because I don't watch a lot of TV. So
What about you, David?
I'm really, really big on, of course, Abbott Elementary and both series of the 911 show, 911
Mm,
and 911 Lone Star.
they
I
got
know
picked up, but then
they did. They got picked up by a new network because the original network, which I believe was ABC, dropped them. So I'm excited about that. I'm excited for Angela Bassett to still be able to carry that show on as it has. I think it's been going on for 7 seasons now. So really good show.
I think ABC is the
okay,
one that picked them up, isn't it?
That's possible. Yeah.
yeah. Well, I'm just bringing that up because everybody's talking about this movie that's on Netflix with Miss J Lo and Omar Hardwick, called Mother. I did start looking at it last night, but I didn't finish it. But yeah, I will say it is something that you all need to take a look at. It's probably one of her better movies.
Speaking
Hmm.
of J Lo, I had a really, really interesting conversation with somebody about J Lo about how much of a fraud that woman is. And like it
Let's
was
get
this
into it.
video, and I'm not no shade against J Lo, but it was just this video kind of documenting all of her songs and all of her records and how they all feature, somebody else's vocals and ghost singers, and how she would, take these songs from these people and she would just leave their vocals on there. Like she did it to Christina Milian, she did it to um Ashanti. She did it to like a couple of other people. Like it was just crazy how the girl from Sunday Best, I think Iyanla Crawley, her that's her voice on one of J Lo's songs, and I was just like, wow, like she was just really out here just the face. She was just being a face, just being a model in front of in front of the video, in front of the music, and she wasn't like actually singing any of it.
Yeah. Even like the song "Ride or Die" that J Lo sings is a song that was, of course, written by Brandy and Brandy's
She
baby
did it to
daddy, Robert
Brandy.
Smith.
Brand,
Yeah.
she, I mean, you got to be bold. Let me tell you something. You got to be bold to leave
To
Brandy's vocals
leave
on a track
Brandy's vocals in
and
your
just act
song, that's crazy.
like you singing it. Like, come on, Jennifer, come on,
Jennifer
Jennifer.
said, "Baby, if I get up here and shake this butt, nobody would know it's not me."
Yeah, because if you listen to Brandy's demo version of it, it's the exact same song. and all J Lo did was went and sang over the track.
Ooh.
Crazy.
Very quickly, not to give it too much light. Um, yeah, Jonathan Major and your girl Megan Good allegedly together.
No,
Other than that,
no, no,
Jamie
no,
Foxx's daughter is
no.
telling us one minute to pray for him, the next minute he's out playing tennis somewhere. I don't know what the hell is going on. Until I see Jamie himself, prayers up, and I'm not going. I don't want to hear nothing else. And moving along, that concludes today's hot topics.
Sounds good to me. We're going to take a quick break and we are going to move into the next part of the show. We'll be right back. What is up, all you beautiful creatures out there? This is Milton, one third of As Told by Millennials. And from the bottom of my heart, David and Denzel's heart, we just want to thank you guys for listening and going on this journey with us. It's been so crazy, but it has been so fulfilling. And we really, really appreciate the fact that you guys stuck with us this far. We've only got a few more episodes until the season finale, and we've got something really special planned for you guys. We hope you enjoy. So be sure to follow us on Instagram and Twitter at As Told by Millennials so you can catch what we got planned for you guys. It's going to be really special, and we hope you enjoy it. All right, let's get back to the show.
And this is the section of the show where we move into the in great detail segment, where your host, my co host, will be bringing the topic for today's subject.
Yes, yes, I'm going to be um, talking about something that I feel like we all can relate to, especially in this part of our lives, entering into our 30s and embarking on new career paths and journeys and everything. So I would like to go in great detail about growth and development. We're always growing, but I know in our 30s, we really tend to mature and grow a little bit more and things start to look different, and with David and I choosing different career paths to go down, we've learned and developed, just embarking on that. So I just kind of want to talk about the things we've learned about ourselves, the things and the strengths and the tools that we've gained on this journey, and just kind of see where the conversation goes. So,
Mhm.
um, David, in just overall broad question, in the past 2-3 years that you've decided to go back to grad school, that you've been in your 30s, that you've um, kind of settled down in Texas, how do you feel like you've grown from when you look back on your 20s and just where you were? How do you feel like you have grown? And it doesn't have to be just, I'm not asking for a list, just whatever you kind of um, see in yourself.
Well, ironically, this morning I made a tweet that just kind of just overviewed like the way I feel about where I am right now. And I just look back on when I was growing up. I never thought that I was capable or even smart enough to have accomplished the things that I have. Even just when I look around my living room, I'm like, damn, like I never saw it coming. I never saw myself getting to this point. Um, but growth comes in a lot of ways. Growth comes in relationships. Growth comes in maturity as it comes to being able to work with people, how to maneuver throughout corporate America or the job that you have. But I just think overall, I'm continuously growing day to day. Um, I think that the most growth that I see is just learning that everything doesn't require a response, especially when you deal with so many different
Mm.
types of people and you're in so many types of situations. You learn that that doesn't necessarily require a response from me. I can sit back and just kind of watch people do their thing and just kind of work on protecting myself. Sometimes you learn to just shut up and let people do what they gonna do.
That's very, very true. We say many, many times, you can always just, say nothing. You can always just not say anything. You can
Hmm.
It's free.
always just not say anything. It's free. It's so peaceful to just not say anything and just, let stuff roll off your back. It I don't know. It makes me feel some type of way when you say that you never thought you were smart enough because I've always thought you were damn near genius. I have. I've always just been so intrigued with the way that your mind works and the way you approach situations and your ability to think critically. It's just that's always something I've admired about you. So I wasn't expecting you to say that. Um,
Hmm.
Denzel, what about you? You have relocated 20 times in
Again.
the past 2 years, and you keep making these new opportunities for yourself and inching your way closer to your goal and your dream of the career that you want. So how do you feel like you've grown, in these last few years from where you were as far as geographic location to where you are now? Like, the age difference from your 20s to your 30s. Like, how do you feel like you've grown?
For me, I've grown in many ways. The first way is like spiritually. I mean, like I'm not gonna sit up here and say that I go to church every week. I don't, but I feel like the personal relationship that I have with my Savior is has grown tremendously. Like and just having like daily conversations and stuff like that, and keeping me sane and stuff like that. And because I don't think I would be able to make it to this point without doing that, because some people they try to make it where you have to have this certain type of relationship with your God, whoever whoever you praise, no judgment here, but you got to live the certain life. You got to wear the church suits and all that stuff. It's not like that. You got to have your own personal relationship, because at the end of the day, it's between you and him. You got to be accountable for your own actions. So I I have grown that way, and also in my career, at one point in time, I kind of felt like I was doing. I feel like all my career moves have been good moves, but I feel like I always felt like I was lacking and not where I'm supposed to be, and sometimes I feel like with the where I was being known, I wasn't appreciated, I was being disrespected, and all that stuff. And I made changes, which those changes meant with me leaving the company or relocating and stuff like that. And I was down on myself because I was feeling like maybe if I would have just lasted a little bit longer, I would have got this opportunity or that position or promoted or something, whatever I was looking for. I probably would have got if I would have lasted a little bit longer. And I kind of felt guilty about that. But now looking back at it, I was like, why would I stay somewhere and I'm not appreciated, not valued, not respected? And, if you're not going to treat me how I'm supposed to be treated, I'm going to leave, and that's my motto, and that's gonna be my motto to the end of the days. And I used to look at that as a bad thing, because looking at going back to our family and stuff like that, looking at our families growing up, they go to a job and they stay there, hate it, love it, whatever. They are not going anywhere. That's just their that was their generation. But with me, I have so many opportunities, and I'm not gonna stay anywhere. So I feel like I've grown that way, and that growing that way built up my confidence. So when I walk in a job, you're gonna respect me. I'm gonna do my best. You know, I'm not gonna sit here and just be, a follower. That's just me. I'm gonna do, we're gonna do the thing or we ain't. So also with that, learning self respect in the workplace, that kind of came over also into my personal life with like, dating and stuff like that. Tolerating stuff that's not good, I'm not doing that. So I done got a lot better than that, because sometimes you get to the point where you see other people with people in relationships. You just don't know what don't folks going through hell just to be in that relationship. So me, I'm not that type of person. So I'm learning to have a lot of self confidence and respect for myself, and standing on it 10 toes down, regardless of what the situation and who it is.
I um I have some other questions that I do want to ask, but I do want to follow up on something that kind of jumped out to me when you guys were speaking. It was David, when you said that you didn't feel like you were smart enough, and
Hmm.
then Denzel, you said that at your jobs you didn't feel like you were where you were supposed to be. And I'm just wondering, like, in those situations, were you guys like, how did you what made you feel that way? Like, were you comparing yourselves to other people, or seeing where other people were, or seeing the grades that other people got and seeing the achievements that other people made at these jobs? Or were you feeling like you were supposed to have achieved a certain thing at this age? And, like, what made you feel like you weren't where you were supposed to be? Or what made you, David, feel like you weren't as smart? Like, I'm trying to, dive into the ideology behind that.
So for me, I will say that today I really feel like I'm that nigga. Um, when it comes down to education or just achievement as a whole. But growing up, it was 100% the grades that I made. So I always felt like I should have been an B student, but I wasn't. But I also had to realize that I didn't learn the exact same way as everybody else. I was more
Mhm.
of a hands-on learner or more of an experienced learner. You can't just stand up in front of a classroom and teach me something, which is I feel like why in college I was a lot more successful because you have to do your own research. You're able to put yourself into the assignment in order to produce a certain product. So you may give me an outline on what it is that you want, and I can insert myself into that and say, okay, let's do this, let's do that. And I feel like that was just the way that I learned, and also the way that I was able to present myself to others. I'm not one of those people where you can give me one way to do something and I'm going to be able to just produce a product. You have to let me be myself. And it took me, I would say, maybe my senior year in high school is where I realized, okay, you can do this if you do it another way. You can make A's and B's if you change your tactics. Don't follow the way that the teacher says you have to do it. And now, as an educator, I encourage students to learn a different way. If you don't understand what I'm teaching you, let's sit down, let's talk about it. How can I present it to you real world? How can I present it to you in a way that's tangible, something you can see, something you can feel, something you can taste? Um, so yeah, that was the way I learned.
Okay. And that makes sense. It when you speak about grades, that's kind of one of the issues I've always had with the education system in the country, because we use like grades to measure people's intelligence, but it's not a true measurement of people's intelligence. And
Hmm.
I feel like it helps some people, and I feel like it really stifles some people's learning and their drive to learn. Denzel, what were you saying? Go ahead.
With me, um, I don't wouldn't say that I was comparing myself to anyone. I would say I was comparing myself to where I, w- I thought I would have been at that time. Like when I started working, moving out on my own. You have this goal, like, okay, by 25, you'll be this homeowner, all that stuff, whatnot. And that's why I feel, I feel like that's where my comparison comes from. It's not so much from someone else, but in the work field, like for positions and jobs and stuff like that, I would say not just to say I would say it was comparing myself to other people, but not to just say like, oh, you're doing this, I can do this, whatnot. It was just looking at the facts. Like, okay, I'm pulling 110% of this group, our department, and I'm looking at you doing nothing, but that 2 months down the road, you're promoted, and they're asking me to train you, but and telling me I'm not ready to be promoted. I'm like, well, how the hell that makes sense? So that was one of the reasons why I left one of my jobs. So I was just like, I felt like that was a slap in my face, very disrespectful, and I didn't feel appreciated with the company. So I just left and went somewhere else. So
I feel like it is a lot of pressure on you when you think about where society has told you that you need to be by a certain age or the things you should have accomplished by a certain age. It's a lot of extra pressure on you to, kind of be those things. Because imagine when you have to go to a family reunion and people are like, well, where's your wife, or where's your boyfriend, or where the kids at? Yeah, you still paying $1,500 for an apartment. Like, all those things, you may let it slide then, but when you go back home, you kind of thinking like, well, damn,
Mhm.
should I be in that place, or should I be doing this and doing that? So I think that kind of plays a role as well. What about
Yeah.
yourself, Milton? What do you feel? How do you feel about yourself with the same question?
I have grown tremendously in these last couple of years. I've learned so much about myself. Um, in getting this degree and just transitioning from my 20s to my 30s, I've learned that I am so strong. I'm so strong, and I just, at this point in my life, I don't know if there's anything that can, like, just knock the wind out of me or take me out. Like, I've just built such a resilience to everything that would try to come up against me to either take me down or slow me down or distract me from my goals or anything. um I have learned that I am very resourceful. I have learned that I'm very focused. When I set my mind to do something, there's nothing that can stop me from doing it. So,
Hmm.
and those are just some of the things that I've learned about myself. I've learned patience because
Hmm.
I have not always been a very patient person. I have learned, like David said, everything doesn't deserve a response. I have learned to edit myself a little bit more. Still can use some
Hmm.
work on, some stuff with that, but um I'm learning.
To keep your hands to yourself.
I've always kept my hands to myself. I don't know why you would throw that in there. But I've learned that it is enough to just be right. Like,
Hmm.
it is enough to just be right. Like, I don't have to parade it around and boast in the fact that I'm right. I don't have to let everybody know I'm right. I don't have to do the whole "I told you so" and "I've been saying this and such and such." Like, you don't have to do all of that stuff. You can just be right
Hmm.
and just let things
And
play out
just
how they
move on.
are and just move on. Like, so those are just a couple of things that I've learned about myself. I have learned, I think, ultimately, that I am a pretty decent dude.
Hmm.
And that is something that I kind of struggled with for a long time because I didn't think I was. I always felt like I could be better in ways. I always felt like I was a little mean, a little cold, a little detached, sometimes insensitive, and all of those things. And I've learned that I'm not. I'm just very, very intentional with my feelings, with how I speak, with how I interact, with the words that I choose. Everything is very, very intentional. And I kind of expect the same in return. I expect for you, when you say something to me, I expect you to mean it. When you do something for me, I expect you to do it because that's what you want. Like, I just expect certain things. So, um,
Hmm. I
yeah.
can agree. I feel like, like you said, looking back, um, on just growing up and not thinking that I was really just the smartest person, and then learning that, okay, you're smart in so many things, but you have to do it a different way. You can't do it the way other
Hmm.
people tell you have to do it. And so, like you said, now people will say something, and I'm like, you know what? I am him. Like, I am smart. I
Hmm.
am good at the things that I do. And it really took me growing up and just being able to learn myself. And sometimes when you learn yourself, it takes a lot of spending time with yourself, and not spending time with yourself and just overthink things, but spending time with yourself and actually getting to learn who you are and learn how important you are, not only to others, but to yourself, and just
Hmm.
allowing yourself to be you. You were created to be the person that you are. And that person is going to supplement for so many things. And that person is going to encourage people in so many different ways just off living the life that you live and making the mistakes that you made and making the triumphs that you've been through. All of those things work together for the good. You have to go through some
Hmm.
stuff. You have to make some mistakes and move back and make some mistakes and have to go back and do this. So it's just a part of life. And I think that when we learn that our life, or once you order your steps in the way that God would have you to, and you lean to Him for the understanding of the things that you need, um, even when you make mistakes, you'll learn that some of those things are ordained by God. Some of
You
those
know,
things you had to experience.
and I was telling Milton this last night, that I just got over something in my life that I was like trying to figure out, you know. Okay, so long story
Don't
short,
scare me. Don't scare me. Whatever it is, don't scare me.
no. So it's like, when you be in relationships and stuff like that, and the relationship goes south, and it was one of the things like where you try everything in your power to make sure that everything was going right, and it still didn't go right, and you was just like trying to figure out, like, if you did something, or not if you did something, or if you could have done something better or whatnot. But I was in a little situation, and I just couldn't understand, like, why you wouldn't want a person like me. But some people are just, I ain't gonna say trash, but some people are just some people, put it like that. And you just have to realize that, God got your stuff lined up in a special way. Everybody's path is different. So
Hmm.
that's, I just, though we was talking about that the other night
We don't ever know what's going on with Denzel till it's over.
though.
Till it's over. Because I'm sitting back and I'm just kind of like, what?
Right. Like, what the hell?
But but I also feel like, and I'm not going to jump on your back too much, but I also feel like Denzel doesn't necessarily want to hear what we have to say. So he don't tell us so that we don't tell him what we feel.
Well, now that we all got that understood, let's.
Thinking about where you were and where you are now, where do you hope that you're growing toward, or that you're moving toward in life, and as a developing person? Like, where do you hope that you're moving forward toward? What are some things that you hope to gain, and some traits that you hope, either improve, or that you can work on? Like, what are some things, what do you hope you're growing toward?
I hope I'm growing towards, of course, my where I want to go in my career and stuff like that, and I want to be more I want to be more spiritual than what I am now. I hope I'm growing to. I want to be more social too, because I'm a social person, but my face is a resting bitch face, and a lot of people think I'm crazy. Yeah, social. I would like to be more social. I want to be at peace, whatever it is. I want to be at peace, like, whether if it's in LA doing something, or if it's New York, or is this somewhere in the South doing something, wherever it is, just let me be at peace, and able to take care of myself, and no drama.
David, what
I
about
can see
you?
that. I think for me, um, I just hope to be a great man. Like I hope to um, be in a space to change people's lives. Um, I think right now, where I am in education, I just want to be the person, the teacher that I needed when I was in school. Um, and it's kind of a full circle moment even now just saying it. Just being that teacher that says, okay, this test doesn't define you, or this grade or this state test doesn't define who you are. You really that nigga. Like, and from a teacher standpoint,
You can't say that to the kids.
I wish that people, like Milton had been around to say, nigga, like, I see you outside of outside of what this test is saying about you, because
Mhm.
I didn't have people to say. Of course, my parents always said it, but that's your parents. If they gonna just say it. But now when I look back on it, they wasn't really just saying it; they was telling me the truth. So I try to be that to my students and just let them know, like, hey, like, you got this, or don't allow this test to make you feel like you're not a whole person or that you're not capable of doing something.
I like that. I I hope that I'm growing toward becoming a fully um, formed, as far as my personality, a fully formed individual. I want to be um, a decent person. I want to feel like um, like I have something to offer. I want to always try to lead with compassion and empathy and understanding and those types of things. And I know sometimes, living in this world, it can make you a little hard and a little callous, and it can make you turn away and kind of try to shut yourself off because you don't want to, experience whatever pain or discomfort. But I hope I remain an active part of the world, because I know, and y'all know too, that I can be a hermit sometimes. I can be at home and I can stay at home, and like I don't ever, you know, I may not ever go out, I may not ever socialize and all that other stuff. So I hope that, you know, the more I grow and the more I live, I hope that I can remain this person that leads with love and empathy and understanding, and I hope I continue to create a space for people to feel safe around me. And I hope that I remain resilient from all of the um, just emotional and spiritual and mental bruises that we take from living in this world. So that's what I hope. That's what I hope I grow toward, and that's what I hope I keep growing in. So, real quick, give me two things, two tools, or two things you've learned about yourself in these past couple of years that you're most thankful for.
I'm thankful for patience. I'm learning now that, the things that I want, they are coming to me, but I just gotta, it doesn't come overnight, and I just gotta be able, let God line it up for me. Also, mm, patience and self awareness of when
Mm,
I'm just aware of what I'm doing, how I'm doing, when I'm doing
mhm,
something wrong, or when I'm being irrational, or stuff like that. I think I'm just being by myself, like working and coming home. It's kind of like you ain't got nobody else to look at but yourself. So it's like you start to see certain things and patterns in yourself, and and trying to adjust them to something more positive.
For myself, I would say that I am most thankful for um, my experiences, especially over the last 4 or 5 years. I'm extremely thankful for the things that I've seen, the things that I've come through, and I'm also very thankful for my faith. Um, and my faith has taught me that everything is going to be okay. I mean, I don't take that word everything lightly. Everything is going to be okay, and that God is there through it all, but He does require that relationship. He requires that we have open communication. And even the scripture says to worry about nothing and pray about everything. And that scripture has just brought me so much peace. Coming from an era where anxiety almost took over my life and it controlled me, really leaning on my creator and the person who loves me so much.
mhm,
And I look back on some of the things that I stressed and I worried about, and it's like God is there. He's watching. He's taking care of you. The issues that you're going through was meant to happen. and he's going to bring you out of it. The other side is just around the corner. So I'm really thankful for the experience that have taught me those things, because I think that every experience, I look back and I say, okay, that taught me a lot, and it wasn't meant to kill me. It wasn't there to stress me out, but really just to teach me something. And I hope that again that those things help me to be a great person. They help me to um, show people who God is. You know, the good, the bad, and the ugly of myself, to still be able to show people that God is there.
Amen.
I
Amen,
know.
Pastor.
I know. I like
Preach
that.
today, Pastor.
Um,
I
I
really
know for
don't come here to
me,
preach.
but you be dropping a word. I know for myself, I have to agree with Denzel. I've learned so much self awareness over the last couple of years in just who I am as a person, and um, just, certain habits and certain things, and the way that I respond to certain things, and the way that I subconsciously react to certain things, and how certain emotions play out, and what they cause me to feel like, and just, just being emotionally aware of myself, and being present in whatever it is that I'm feeling, and trying to approach it, logically. I know sometimes our emotions can run a little rampant and kind of get the best of us, but I try to approach, what I'm feeling logically. And I'm also, I've realized in the last couple of years, and it's also something that I'm very, very, very thankful for, is that this is a real, true, lifelong God send friendship. And it is
Amen.
so amazing to have. It is so healing. It is so enriching and revitalizing. And it was so needed in the last couple of years of my life, and this journey the journey I had embarked on. And it's going to be needed again. I'm going to have to lean on it again, in the future. I already know that. So that's why I am so thankful for it, so appreciative for you guys, and my best friend Patrice. I don't ever want to forget about Patrice. But
Shout out to Patrice.
Please don't.
yes,
She's a good time.
she is. But yeah, you guys have been such a leaning post, and being self-aware is I've also learned that it's okay to ask for help sometimes, and that was such a big thing for me. Like, I didn't know how to ask for help, and I don't know if I've ever used the words like I need help, but there are times, and I don't know if you guys could pick up on it in my voice or in the way that I would talk, but there are times I would call you guys, and like I would be crying out for help. Like, I just need you to talk to me before I punch this white lady in her face. Like, I just need,
Miss
like,
Sealy,
I just,
no.
like, right. I just, there's so many times that you guys have helped me through things, and may not have realized it. So I'm so thankful for that, and so thankful that I recognized early on that this was a real lifelong friendship. And like everything, it like every other relationship, it needs to be prioritized, and it needs to be nurtured, which is why I try to check on y'all as much as I can. I know, at random moments throughout your week, I'll send you a text, David, I love you. Denzel, I love you. Because I really want you guys to know that you are important to me, and you are important in my life. And I really, really do appreciate you guys. And um, that's
Better
just
not
something that I cry. Is Let me tell you something. And when I cry, people's prayers in hell for ice water will be answered. Like,
Oh my.
I'm not a crier. I'm not a crier. But yeah, I just appreciate you guys, and I want to make a conscious decision to start telling you guys that more, because we know the world is crazy and everything is going on, and you just never know what's going to happen from one moment to the next. And God forbid anything ever happens to you guys and you don't know how I feel about you. So I just want you guys to know that I appreciate you and I love you. And it is a real, true pleasure to do this podcast with you guys.
Oh, it's an honor. It would
Yeah, I mean, friendship is so important. Um, and me and my mom actually talk about it all the time. And she was like, you're so lucky to have your friends. And she was just like, even when y'all were younger and y'all, first began your friendship, she would always say, "You're so lucky to have your friends. You're so lucky to have them." So yeah, I mean, I'm thankful for y'all. I pray for y'all daily. I'm always thinking about, how can we bond more? How can we do more? How can we continue to take over the world? Um, we have so many ideas and things that we talk about on a day to day basis that if only people knew, or if only we could get those ideas into the right hands. I would so much rather do it with y'all, because I can trust y'all with my life. I can trust you with my wallet. I don't have to worry about stuff when I'm with y'all. And certain people, you got to watch your back. You don't know if they're gonna do
Hmm.
something shiesty. And Milton and I can't go into too much detail on why we say this, but we always would say, we would always say, "You're not gonna be the reason why we stop being friends." You
Hmm.
know, you can we can talk about whatever issues we have and move right on, but you're not gonna be the reason that we stop being friends.
Hmm.
So I cherish the friendship the three of us have because of that.
shit. Yeah, I mean, it's a good thing to have because some friends disappear over time. And, thankfully, we have survived those tests. We're
Yeah.
still here.
Hmm.
Yeah, we have. And I take, as growing up as an only child, I really take my friendships seriously. Y'all my niggas, y'all my brothers.
Hmm.
Um, but I think we should end it right there. I think that's a good note to leave off on. So, thank you guys again so much for listening to another episode of As Told by Millennials. We appreciate you guys so much for making this podcast all that it is. Be sure to follow us and subscribe anywhere you listen to the podcast, and follow us on Instagram and Twitter at As Told by Millennials. And like I said earlier, we only have a few more episodes until the season finale, and we have something really special planned for you guys. We hope that you enjoy it. So we'll catch you next week. Deuces.
Let you know